the secrets to success, the actual ones. So in my previous video, I went off about how the secret to success, all these people trying to sell you something, right? Get rich by telling other people how to get rich. What a great scam. Buy my book on how to get rich. And of course, that makes them rich, right? It makes them very financially successful because you're buying into whatever it is that they're selling. They're telling you how to get rich quick. And how to get rich quick? Well, the secret to getting rich quick is that you tell other people this promise of how to get rich quick. Funny, it's kind of circular, but it works, right? So I'm going to talk about actual secrets to success now. This is the things that I believe very strongly, but I'm always open-minded and willing to change my opinion. These are the things that I believe make the difference. And so very briefly, I will give you the rundown because I know most of you won't watch past 3 minutes and then we'll go back over them. Basically, the first thing is that you set a goal. I know that sounds so simple, it sounds so obvious, but the problem is that most people suck at goal setting, so they set goals that are arbitrary, like I want to be rich. You need to set a specific goal, like I want to make $1,000 in 1 week. That's a very specific goal. You've given yourself a deadline, 1 week, and you set $1,000. And then, of course, you're going to break that down and you're going to say, I need to make X number of dollars per day, whatever it is that you want to figure out. You have to break that down later. We'll talk about checkpoints. That's another part. Checkpoints. So you set goals, you have checkpoints. The other thing that you have to have in place is in processes. You need to have a process. It's not enough to have a destination. You have to have a process. You have to have a plan. If I tell you my goal is to drive from, I don't know, Duluth to Minneapolis, I need to have a process. I need to have a plan. I need to know where I'm headed and how to get there. So it isn't enough for me just to say I'm going to drive from Duluth to San Francisco. No, I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. I don't just hop in the car and start driving. I probably should pack some things, probably should make some plans, maybe have a hotel, booked that I know I'm going to stay at part way through, things like that. Those are important. That's the process part. It's not enough to have a destination. And of course, then we can get into all the other weird stuff like having a routine. Because even if you listen to all these things, I just told you why it was stupid, because all these people talk about their different routines. But what you'll find is that all of them do have a routine. So even if your routine is getting up at 4 a.m. and working, or your routine is working all night because you're a night owl, and these people basically cancel each other out. Like, oh, well, I always do this, or I never do this, or whatever it is, and they give each other opposite advice. The thing that does exist is that all of them do have a routine, even if their routines are completely different. And let's see here. I think I made a note. Oh, routines and habits. So habits fall into your routine. Those are kind of tied together. But yeah, a lot of your things need to be habits because we have decision fatigue. So the fewer decisions you have to make, the more. I hate the word willpower. We're still going to use the word willpower because I don't have a different word to put in there. The more energy you have, how about that, to make decisions on other things. So as many things as you can make automatic and habit, make that automatic and habit so you don't have to expend energy making decisions. And of course, the last one, and this is the one that, I actually really think this one's actually probably most important, is having good mentors. People don't appreciate how important it is to have a good mentor. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you have to have a mentor. Plenty of people don't. I don't really have a mentor. But I had one in the past. He's since passed away, but I would tell you that that individual changed my life drastically whenever I was with him. That's a different career. It's a different time in my life. That's a very different thing. But there was a man who took me under his wing and taught me things, treated me like a son, and the things that he taught me changed my life and actually saved my life in many situations, actually, because he taught me skills that would help me to get through really bad situations. We're not going to get into him, but suffice it to say, this individual was an amazing person with a skill set that you probably won't find in many people. He had been a fighter pilot and a dive bomber in World War II, and then later, well, his career was amazing. So he was an amazing individual. That's the closest thing I've had to a mentor, and unfortunately my time with him was very short. As I said, he passed away. But I am confident that if he was still here today, that I would still be listening to him. He would still be mentoring me. He would still be helping me. And I'd probably be infinitely more effective, successful, whatever you wanted to use as a term there. He definitely took me under his wing and helped me. He's a good man. So was his wife. They're very kind people. I felt like I was family. So that's the brief rundown, because I know most of you have already stopped watching, because according to Google Analytics, you guys stopped watching at 3 minutes. So here we are at 5 minutes. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're an outlier. So now we'll go back into it, and I'll talk about these different things and how you can implement them in your own life and why this matters. So goal setting, very briefly. We're not going to do like a master class on goal setting. When you set a goal, you need to make it specific. Too many people set goals like, I want to be rich, or I want to be strong. Okay. What does that look like? Like, what is that? I want to be bigger. Okay. How much bigger? You're currently 170. What, you want to be 175? That's technically bigger. 171 is technically bigger. You want to be 180? You want to be 185? You want to be 185, what, with 20% body fat? 15? 10? You want to accomplish that in what, 6 months? 1 year? What do you want to do here? The same thing's true if you want to make it about money. This doesn't matter. I don't care if we want to make it about, I want to learn to play Stairway to Heaven. I want to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven, and I'm going to figure it out in 6 months. Okay, like, now you've set a time limit on it too. That's important. So your goal needs to be specific. I want to play guitar. Okay, play guitar. Why don't you pick something that you actually want to work on? Like, I want to be able to play the entire Nirvana Unplugged album. That's very specific. And I want to be able to do that within 1 year. That's also specific. Now you're going to sit down, you're going to come up with a plan to do that, because it's not enough for you just to simply have a goal. You have to have checkpoints. So you say, I'm going to learn how to play About a Girl, and I'm going to figure that out in 1 month. And then you have to have some type of routine or habit in place. This is part of the process part also. You see, all these things are intertwined. I'm going to practice for 1 hour a day every day. Okay, there's a start. I will learn an E minor chord. Okay, I'm going to learn an A chord. Okay, you know, I'm going to learn a G chord. Okay, like, you're going to choose these things and learn each one in a step. It's part of the process. I don't drive from Duluth to San Francisco by saying, I'm going to drive to Chico, and then I'm going to turn around and go back to Minneapolis, and then go back towards San Francisco. That wouldn't make any sense. I mean, eventually I'd arrive at San Francisco, but that's not the best route, right? If I say I want to get from 180 to 185, I don't go from 180 to 170 first, and then go up to 185. That wouldn't make any sense. Now, I might still arrive at 185, but why would I go backwards, right? So, like, and this sounds stupid. This sounds like common sense, but watch yourself. There are plenty of things that you do that are actually taking you further away from your goal first. People are like, I want to accomplish this, but yet the first thing they do actually gets them further away from that goal. So, checkpoints. So you set a goal, and you figure out what steps I have to accomplish to get there, okay? You know, if I want to learn to do a triple axel, I need to figure out how to do a single first and a double a second. I should probably, learn to skate first, even, if you don't know how to skate. Like, there's a step to these things. You don't just jump straight from, I've never done any type of figure skating before, but I'm going to go straight to a triple axel as my first attempt. I want to do a double back tuck. Okay. Can you do a back handspring first? Can you do a back tuck? Can you even do a round off? Right? There are steps. You have to learn steps. So there's your checkpoints, right? So we set a goal, and then we have to figure out all the steps we have to do to get there. And of course, we're going to put habits and routine in place. Like, I'm going to practice guitar 1 hour a day. And you're going to make that part of your life. You're going to schedule your day. In fact, actually, that is a dirty word to people. People think that schedule is a bad thing. Schedule is a good thing. Here's what I want you to do. Sit down and write down what your ideal day would look like. Like, write down your day, what you would like it to look like. Like, I get up in the morning, I go for a walk, I eat breakfast, and then I do a workout, and then I answer emails, and then I play video games for an hour. Yeah, let yourself have something fun in there. And then I go and, I don't know, I write on my blog for an hour, and then I go for another walk, and then I have lunch. And then I spend an hour meditating or something. Again, like, you're putting positive things in your day as well. And, then I go do work for another hour or two, and then I don't know, I want to watch an episode of Stranger Things. Well, you write that into your schedule. Your schedule does not have to be back-to-back meetings and work. You can schedule in things that are enjoyable. You can schedule in, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. I'm going to go out with my wife to watch a movie. Thursday at 5 p.m. I'm going to go out to dinner with my wife. Like, you can put that in your schedule. Like, it's okay for you to have enjoyable activities in your schedule. Schedule is not a dirty word. It doesn't have to be, here's my schedule. It's nothing but meetings and work. Okay? That's not gonna last very long. You need to have some downtime, and maybe you should schedule your downtime. Like, 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, I'm gonna go get a massage. Because it feels good. Just put it in there. There's no shame about you having something positive in your schedule. Like, I'm gonna go to the park with my dog and just throw a ball around for an hour. Yep, do it. Put it in your schedule. Schedule should be something neutral. It shouldn't be some weird dirty word like, oh, you have a schedule? That's terrible. No, fuck it. Your schedule should have enjoyable things in it. Maybe part of your routine is going out for ice cream on Friday night. Maybe part of your routine is going out and getting breakfast at, I don't know, I would say Eaton Park, but most people don't know what that is, so I'll say like Bob Evans or something. Is that a national chain? Pancake House? Waffle House? What is it called? Something like that. You know what I'm talking about. Go out for breakfast on Sunday morning, okay? It doesn't have to be nothing but work. So now you have this routine, and in your routine and your schedule and everything, you're going to create a habit, and you're going to say at 3 p.m. every day, I'm going to practice my guitar for 1 hour. There you go, okay? And so that actually all ties in to the whole thing of processes, habits, routines, and checkpoints, because now you're going to be able to mark that off every day. Every day you're going to write a little check mark and say, yep, I put in my 1 hour of practice. There's your checkpoint. That's getting you closer to your goal. Yes, I know, your goal is to play this entire album within 1 year, but if you hit those checkpoints every day, that 1 hour of practice every day, you're much more likely to succeed in your goal than if you wait till, 12 months later and then hurry up and try to learn it all in 1 month. In fact, you might actually surprise yourself and you get to your goal much sooner just because you were consistent, right? So we're going to have routines, and it doesn't matter what your routine is the point that I'm trying to make. People tell you, never play video games, never go out with your friends. Fuck that. Put whatever enjoyable thing you want. If you want to go out with your friends every Saturday night, then plan it in. Like, make space for it. It's so stupid. I don't understand some of the advice that people give on these goddamn channels. They're like, oh, you should have no life outside of work. And it's like, well, that's going to last real long before you burn out. Elite level athletes, like the elite of the elite of the elite, place a priority on recovery. You need downtime. You can't just train 24/7. If you could, these people who want nothing but a gold medal would wake up and they would train 16 hours straight and go back to sleep. Because they have one singular focus. And if you think these people wouldn't do that, you don't know them very well. They would do anything to win that gold medal. That's why they take drugs. That's why they cheat. That's why they risk everything to win the fucking gold medal. And yet they still make a point to have downtime and recover because they know that there's a priority on downtime and recovery. This is just like the people who are like, I only sleep 4 hours a night. You're stupid. Like, seriously. There is a priority on your recovery. You function better if you are recovered. Whenever people are sleep deprived and they're exhausted and everything, you might as well be fucking drunk. So do you think you make good decisions when you're drunk? I know you think you do. Oh, no, I'm not too drunk to drive. I'm fine. No, you're too fucking drunk to drive, but you're too fucking drunk to recognize that you can't drive. That's the problem. You make terrible decisions when you're drunk. Same thing's true whenever you're sleep deprived. You're like, oh, no, I'm fine. I can make decisions. No, you're just so impaired you don't know that you're impaired. Recover. Put it into your routine. Give yourself a bedtime. Like, seriously, like, set an alarm and tell yourself, 10 p.m., time to get ready for bed. It'll change your life. Setting a bedtime will be more effective than you setting a wake-up time. Because you'll actually go to bed, you'll actually get enough sleep, and so you'll wake up before your alarm even goes off. Yeah. Amazing. Wow, Wow, Chad, that was incredible. No, not really. If you go to bed by 10, chances are you're probably going to wake up sometime between 6 and 8 in the morning without an alarm. Like, oh. Anyways, so, have a routine, create habits, stick to those habits, develop positive habits. Okay? Have your goals, set checkpoints. Like, that's the secret to succeeding at anything. I don't care what it is that you're trying to learn. I don't care if you're trying to learn physics, or you're trying to learn to play an instrument, or you're trying to learn how to do a back tuck, or whatever it is, whatever goal you're working on, you can apply these to literally anything, even starting a business. Okay, I spend an hour a day, every day, without fail, reading stuff about how to file an LLC, or how to do this, or how to that. These are not things I even enjoy. This is work. I hate those things. Okay, but I still make a point that I'm going to put in 1 hour of effort doing this thing that I hate doing because I know that I need to learn it. Okay? So that's your goals, that's your checkpoints, that's your processes, that's your habits. And the other part to this whole thing is, at the very end of it, it comes down to mentors. A really good mentor can save you years of, this is no different than having a good coach. It can save you years of spinning your wheels. Okay? I will be the first person to tell you in coaching. Okay? I didn't have good coaches growing up. Now, I worked my ass off. In fact, I can objectively say, I'm not going to be that person who's there and goes, I worked harder than anyone else. But I can say that I spent more time on the ice than any of my teammates ever did. Now, I don't know what every other person in the entire country does. I have no idea what other people are doing, but I know objectively, I spent more time on the ice than any of my teammates ever did. No one I ever played hockey with spent more time on the ice than I did. I practiced more than anyone else, by far. But I didn't practice the right things. I spent a lot of time doing stupid shit. And I worked out more than anyone else. But I spent a ton of time doing push-ups and air squats and lunges and sit-ups and all this stuff like that. Had I had good coaches, someone would have been like, yo, dude, like, you're not even 5.5 feet tall, and you don't even weigh 100 pounds. Like, you should probably start lifting weights. But no one suggested that to me. So instead, I just spent my time doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of push-ups. It's no different than whenever I was, 18 and I'm telling people, oh yeah, I can do 1,000 push-ups in a day. Like, that was a normal thing for me, because I would work out twice a day and I would just do tons and tons and tons of push-ups. Yeah, okay. I never got any bigger. It's not like I got, like, massively strong from doing tons and tons of push-ups. Oh, I'm really good at push-ups. Yeah. Congratulations, you're really good at push-ups. You still can't even bench 225 for a single. Oh, shit. That sucks. Yeah. So if you have good coaches save you a lot of time. So for all those hours invested on running miles, which long, slow distance running, not particularly effective for hockey. Would have been better spent taking that hour and spending it on sprinting. So again, good coaches will save you years and keep you from spinning your wheels. Good mentors will save you years and keep you from spinning your wheels. Mentors will tell you this is what you need to work on. And oftentimes mentors are not people who are particularly nice to you. They were the people who are going to sit down and tell you, listen, dude, this is what you do wrong. If someone only tells you positive things, they're a cheerleader. They're not a mentor. A mentor is going to be that person who speaks up and tells you, yo, dude, this is what you're doing wrong. A mentor is going to be someone who's not afraid to criticize you. I had a friend of mine who I recognize is really truly my friend, because he says really mean things to me sometimes, and they hurt my feelings. They make me feel bad. I'm kidding. I don't have any feelings. So, point is, though, he does say really nasty things that if I was to share them here, you'd be like, wow, dude, this guy's your friend? And it's like, yes, he is, actually, because he's very blunt and he's very honest with me. Now, he's also very responsive. He's very kind. He always listens to me, so he is my friend. But he also doesn't hesitate to tell me something I don't want to hear. Okay? It's like the time that he told me, you know what your problem is? And I was like, what? And he's like, you take pride in being poor. And I was like, what? What kind of bullshit is that? And he's like, you think it's a badge of honor that you struggle and that you're poor. Like, you see that as a positive. He said this to me years ago. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't want to hear it. And then he pointed it out to me, and I definitely rejected it initially. And then I realized, oh shit, he's right. I'm like a fucking monk. I actually take pride in the whole austerity thing. I take pride in the fact that I have holes in my shoes and stuff like that, and I don't buy things. It's weird because I don't want to be part of those people that are like, I don't know, people that spend a lot of money on shit like a BMW or something like that. That's not going to be me. Even if I had $1 billion, I'd probably still buy like a fucking Toyota, um, like a Camry or something. It's just not my style. But he's right. It's something that I definitely took pride in for a long time. Was like, hey, I drive this beat up old car that's like held together with duct tape and shit. That doesn't mean you can't make money. You can still drive a beat up car that's held together by duct tape and still be a millionaire. You could do that if you wanted to. You don't have to buy new shoes just because you have money to buy it. So when he pointed that out to me, I was like, what? And don't get me wrong, there are people out there who are millionaires and they still choose to live a minimalist lifestyle. But being a minimalist because you have to is very different than being a minimalist because you choose to. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I totally rejected this message. And then I realized that he was right. So, like I said, a mentor is someone who will also criticize you and tell you the things that you don't want to hear. That's how you know you found a good mentor. And so my thing is here is that a mentor is not necessarily your friend. I mean, they are, but they're not someone who, blows sunshine and rainbows up your ass. And finding a good mentor will certainly expedite the process for you. You will be at your goal much faster, just like how finding a good coach will get you to your goal much faster. These are the things, okay? If you guys made it this far in the video, I think you got the picture now. You need to set goals. You need to have checkpoints. You need to have routines, habits. Those have to feed into your goal, okay? You have to have a process. You should focus on processes. Don't focus on the destination. Focus on the process, okay? If you're focused on the destination and you fail to recognize the process, you're going to fuck up. It's like if you and your wife are driving somewhere and you have a huge fight in the car. When you arrive, did you have a good trip? No, you fought the whole fucking way. My wife and I are going to go on vacation. I've never been on vacation, but let's pretend that we are. We're driving there and we get into a huge fight and we fight the whole fucking way. Do you think I'm suddenly happy because we arrive? No. The process sucked. The journey sucked. So we spent the whole time fighting. By the time we arrive at our vacation destination, we're still pissed off and fighting with each other. The process is more important than the destination. If you have a shit process, it won't matter if you make it to the destination or not. It's going to be a shitty outcome because you had a shitty process getting there. Oh, crazy thought. Yes, but it's true. Kind of like how if you had an apple tree and you never watered it, do you think it's going to bear fruit someday? No. And if it did, it would be shitty fruit. You'd have crappy little apples. You wouldn't have good, big, juicy, delicious apples. You'd have shitty little ball apples that look like crap that you don't want to eat. So, focus on the process. And there you guys have it. That's it. Those are the secrets. Those are the actual secrets to success. Have a routine. It doesn't matter what your routine is. Play video games. Don't play video games. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you're consistent. Have a routine, have habits, be consistent, embrace the process, and stick to it. Have one. It doesn't matter what your routine is, just have one. Boom. It doesn't matter what your goal is, have one. Like, that's the secret. So those are the real secrets to success. I know all these people want to pitch their shit like, oh, do what I do, but no. Do what you do. Find what works for you, and then stick to it. So, if you guys like the video, like the video. If you have a process, you have a routine, you have a goal, go ahead and comment below. Share it. Share it with other people. Tell other people what your trick is, what your secret is. Maybe it'll help someone else to find theirs. And if you guys like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. This is actually something I'd like talking about because I always bring it back to sports. And, well, you know me. I love sports and I love, coaching, strength conditioning, all that stuff like that. So anything I can tie into sports, we can talk about that even more. But really, the truth is that these things apply to life. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your time.